Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? Glad to be out, see some live music tonight. All right, couple housekeeping items. Got my glasses on so I don't forget anything. Make sure, take a minute and take these fancy computers we keep in our pockets and purses, cell phones, put them on silent or vibrate. Do it now. I'll wait. All right, just a quick reminder, thank you everyone for looking out for each other with COVID and everything and continuing to wear your masks and trying to stay 6 feet apart while we're indoors. We really appreciate that. That's looking out for our neighbors, so thank you for doing that. For those watching online, you can make donations that will go to the artist by going to wfma.net/donate.htm. And thank you to everybody on the YouTube live audience. We are streaming live tonight. And one other thing we've got interesting going on, we've been partnered up with Songwriters Association of Washington and some other local folk producing organizations. I think Focus is also participating on a streamed event for the NERFA event this year, NERFA conference. And with that streamed event, we've been offered to give an established artist and an up-and-coming artist, and we're going to record, because Dave Rowe is going to be our established artist, we're going to record that after the show. So you guys are welcome to stick around. For those of you watching online, stay tuned to our email newsletters and on our website. We'll get information about how to access the showcase. But that's a little something special. Get it. It'd be like 15 minutes after the show. So if you want to stick around for it, you're welcome to. All right. With that, Dave Rowe is a native of Maine, but he has moved. He is now a native of the high seas, following wherever the winds take him on the stink pot. And so many of you may know this, may have followed him on our adventures on Stinkpot on Facebook and elsewhere. Some may have listened to some of his interviews on Folk on the Water, which is produced on Folk Music Notebook. All of us have, I was on the edge of my seat though, listening to hear what adventure they had next. And we had planned on having him here for his for the Great Loop concert when he finished circumnavigating the eastern United States. And COVID kind of put a stop to that. We ended up with going with a streaming event. But we got him here now. So we're excited about that. And he may even share a story or two from his adventures on the seas, or at least a song he might have written while he was out. But also, you know, his father, he performed with his father, Row by Row. You might have seen him with the Squid Jiggers or the Dave Rowe Trio. But he's here to perform with us. Please welcome Dave Rowe.
Thank you, Brent. How y'all doing? I'm glad to see you here tonight. I was hoping that this was not going to be one of those situations where everyone said, well, you know, I'm just not comfortable going out yet. And it's good to have an audience here in the room with me, as well as out there. I'm not going to leave you folks behind. Don't worry. You know, it's terrible. But I now have almost 50-year-old eyes, and I can't see the dots on the side of the guitar anymore. It's pretty bad. As I walked down the dockside one evening so fair, to view the still waters and take the salt air, I heard an old fisherman singing the song, singing, take me away, boys, the time is not long. Wrap me up in me oilskins and jumper, no more on the I'll see you one day in Fiddler's Green. Now, I know we all have masks on, except me. I had a COVID test this week, though. Just for you, I should add. Even though I've already had 2 of the shots and everything. They're not letting me get the booster yet. I don't know what I have to do, but get older or something. Yeah. But if you feel like singing along, just do it inside the mask. It's okay. Now Fiddler's Green is a place I've heard tell, where fishermen go if they don't go to hell, where the weather is fair and the dolphins do play, and the cold coast of Greenland is far, far away. Come on, wrap me up in the oilskins and jumper. No more on the docks I'll be seen. Just tell me, old shipmates, I'm taking a trip, mates, and I'll see you one day in Fiddler's Green. Well, the weather is fair and there's never a gale, and the fish jump aboard with one swish of their tails. You can lie in your hammock, there's no work to do, and the skipper's below making tea for the crew. Come on, wrap me up in the oilskins and jumper. No more on the docks I'll be seen. Just tell me, old shipmates, I'm taking a trip, mates, and I'll see you one day in Fiddler's Green. Well, you don't need a harp nor a halo, not me. Just give me a ship and a good rolling sea, and I'll play me old squeeze box as we roll along, with the wind and the rigging to sing me a song. Wrap me up in the oilskins and jumper. No more on the docks I'll be seen. Just tell me, old shipmates, I'm taking a trip, mates, and I'll see you one day in Fiddler's Green. One more time, come on. Wrap me up in the oilskins and jumper. No more on the docks I'll be seen. Just tell me, old shipmates, I'm taking a trip, mates, and I'll see you one day in Fiddler's Green. Thank you. Thanks very much. Well, as Brent noted, I live on a boat. That's better. And the boat is called Stinkpot. Stinkpot, in the last, almost a month and a half, has gone from Portland, Maine to Solomons, Maryland, where she's sitting right now. I will be delivered back to her this evening. It is home. People are always astonished when we say, they talk to us as though they assume that it's like living in a third world country, living on a boat. You know, if you want, you can come to my house and use my washing machine and sleep in a real bed and use my shower. And they're always astonished when we say, no, we're kind of comfortable with our own bed and our own shower, but we'll use your washing machine. Absolutely, that's a lot easier. But it's not like camping or something. It's sort of like glamping. But we left Portland on I want to say it was the 14th of September. And in one day, we went from Portland, Maine to Gloucester, Massachusetts, which doesn't sound like a huge trip, but it takes all day to make that trip in the open ocean. And on our way through that area, we were about 7 miles offshore. And when we were going by York, Maine, I actually diverted course toward land just a little bit so that we could have a close pass by Boone Island. Some of you are nodding your heads as though you know where the hell I'm talking about. That's impressive. How many have never heard of Boone Island? All right. How many aren't going to raise their hand no matter what I ask? All right. So anyways, Boone Island, it's a rock about the size of this stage, maybe a little larger. And there's a very, very, very tall lighthouse sticking up off of that island. It took the U.S. government 3 tries to get a lighthouse to stay on this island. It's a very desolate, dangerous place that's open to the open ocean. And when storms come through there, they come through with a fury that is pretty much unmatched. And so, like I said, it took the government 3 tries to get a lighthouse to stay. They built the first one out of straw. Then they tried sticks. Anyhow, it was the site of many shipwrecks, most notably the wreck of the Nottingham Galley, which happened in the, I want to say, mid to late 1700s. And that was not a good time for anyone involved, because many people who were on the Nottingham Galley perished in the shipwreck itself. A number of the others froze to death on this island because it's a rock. There's nothing to burn there to keep warm. And so they were there with no food and nothing to burn and no food, and then some of their friends died. It was a grisly party. And after about 4 or 5 months, they were discovered out there. They had nothing to burn. They couldn't send up smoke signals. They were stranded there until somebody came by. And a handful of them actually did survive, which is amazing. But then they built the lighthouse. And it was such a terrible place that nobody actually wanted that job as a light keeper. They would draw straws to see who would get stuck out there. And that was how the couple in this next song came to be stationed on Boone Island as newlyweds. It's almost Halloween. This song is indeed a ghost story. No names have been changed. There are sailors who still swear when they sail by Boone Island that they see the ghost of Catherine Bright hovering above the rocks, looking for her husband. The song's called The Keeper of the Light. Of Boone Island off the coast of Maine, your story's often told. How you drift across the boulders when the winds blow wild and cold. Sailors hear your mournful wails when squalls come up at night, and they know they're in the presence of the keeper of the light. Why do you walk these broken rocks forever, Catherine Bright? So many men, we've seen you when the waters rage at night. A sad-eyed apparition shrouded all in white, lost in time and memory, the keeper of the light. We all heard about your husband, he was the keeper of the light, how he drowned in raging waters on that fateful winter night. He kept the lighthouse burning strong to keep the sailors warm and save the lives of countless men the 5 days of the storm. Why do you walk these broken rocks forever, Catherine Bright? So many men, we've seen you when the waters rage at night. A sad-eyed apparition, shrouded all in white, lost in time and memory, the keeper of the light. When they found you in the lighthouse, once they'd made it across the reef, you drifted into madness from exhaustion and grief. For 5 days without food or sleep, you kept the ships from harm. Then you sat down with his frozen, lifeless body in your arms. Why do you walk these broken rocks forever, Catherine Bright? So many men, we've seen you when the waters rage at night. A sad-eyed apparition, shrouded all in white, lost in time and memory, the keeper of the light. Why do you walk these broken rocks forever, Catherine Bright? So many men, we've seen you when the waters rage at night. A sad-eyed apparition, shrouded all in white, lost in time and memory, the keeper of the light. You're lost in time and memory, the keeper of the light. You're lost in time and memory, the keeper of the light. Thank you. So Brent mentioned that Stacy and I cruised the Great Loop. It's 6,000 miles, and that's if you just go straight through. If you take a few side trips the way we did, you add a few hundred miles real easy. We went to New Orleans for a while. We spent a month in New Orleans, and then we made our way back toward the Great Loop and got ourselves straightened back out again. And then we spent a month in Pensacola, Florida. And by that time, we had already cruised the East Coast in the Intracoastal Waterway. We had gone up through Chesapeake Bay. We'd gone up to New York City, up the Hudson River. We had taken the Erie Canal and gone up into the Great Lakes, and then we'd come down these western rivers rather, to Mobile Bay. And then, as I said, we went to New Orleans and back. So we'd been places at that point. We had seen some amazing sights, some places that, quite frankly, I never thought I'd see, in ways that I never thought I'd see them. Places that are so beautiful, yet you can only see them from a boat. You know, it's funny, even cruising around this area, I've been visiting with you folks for years and years and years, and I had no idea how much beauty there was on the Chesapeake Bay from the water. It's just astonishing. So we're sitting in Pensacola, Florida. We were tied up to this dock at this small marina that probably got destroyed last year in that hurricane that took half of Pensacola out. I haven't checked to make sure, but it was a pretty rickety spot. I can't imagine that it survived real well. And we were watching seabirds play and dolphins, and every day just open your eyes and look out the window and something was new and beautiful. And this song came out of me at that point. And it's sort of an acknowledgement of how special that entire trip was and some of the gorgeous things we saw. It's called Before the Time of Man. Twilight falls, starlight calls, darkness chills the air, and far away the heart will stray, a yearning with no care. And through this night the winds might fight, though none the victor be, till morning light on western bight warms the rising sea. The scene has played 10 million times, it's seen by far too few. This life, this glimpse is but a flash to me. It's all so new. Tides rise and fall on granite wall, carved not by human hands. To count the days in ancient ways, before the time of man. Before the bend where rivers blend and brackish water churns, the trees reach out with weathered bough, the leaf that sunward turns. And through it all these eyes must fall on visions few will see, unbidden gaze through morning haze unto the frothing sea. The scene has played 10 million times, it's seen by far too few. This life, this glimpse is but a flash to me. It's all so new. Tides rise and fall on granite wall, carved not by human hands. To count the days in ancient ways, before the time of man. To count the days in ancient ways, before the time of man. Thank you. Pardon me one moment here. It's a long trip over here. So, this is a song that I wrote on a Martin Luther King Day. 7, 8 years ago now. I was watching the morning news, and they were, of course, remembering Dr. King. And one of the things that one of the newscasters said was this quote from King: "I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear." And I thought, that's just a gorgeous sentiment, and it's a beautiful turn of a phrase. I wish somebody would write a song with that in it. Then it occurred to me, hey, dummy, you're a songwriter. So I sat down and I wrote this. And I hope you sing along. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. Try it out, come on. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. Love is gentle, love is kind. Love is the only answer in hard times. Hate solves nothing and brings us down. Love is the only thing that turns it round. Come on. I have decided to stick with love. It is too great a burden to bear. I have decided to stick with love. It is too great a burden to bear. Out in life, make love your start. When times are hard, love finds a way. Even when the word is hard to say, I have decided to stick with love. Yeah. Hate is too great a burden to bear. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. Thanks very much. All this switching instruments takes so much time. Oh, that's right. I don't need that. I need this. So, how many of you have never been to Maine? Never been to Maine? One. It's impressive. So I take it here, everybody else has been to Maine. Okay. So you know it's a gorgeous place with a very complicated history. And one of our most complicated chapters, like everybody else, is the Civil War. In the town of Gray, Maine, Gray has probably the largest Civil War section in its cemetery of any town in the state. They sent more soldiers to the Civil War than any other town in the state. In those days, if your loved one was killed in battle and you wanted the body brought back home for burial, you would have to pay the War Department to freight the body. Otherwise, they would just be buried in the field or buried in one of those 3 cemeteries you were telling me about today, Brent. Lieutenant Charles Colley died following the Battle of Cedar Mountain. And as an officer, his family had the money to bring him home. So they sent their pennies to the government, and the government sent back a box. They opened the coffin when it arrived, and it wasn't their son lying inside. It was a Confederate soldier. Of course, they were a bit shocked by this. This was not the outcome they were expecting. So they wrote a letter to the War Department and said, you guys screwed up. What should we do with this young man dressed in a gray uniform? And the War Department responded, you could pay us to take him back, which they thought seemed rather cold and disconnected. And they did some soul searching, and they came to the conclusion that he was somebody's son. And it didn't matter which side he was on compared to the side that they were on. He still deserved a proper burial. So they bought a plot in that cemetery, not too far from the plot their own son eventually ended up resting beneath. And the people of Gray took up a collection and set a marble stone that simply says on it, "Stranger of the Late War." And to this day, on Memorial Day, they decorate that grave with flowers and a rebel flag. The stranger. From the Cedar Mountain Battle of 1862 came a fallen soldier's casket as the 10th Maine paid its dues. The grieving parents braced to see their Union son lay dead, but in his place they found a boy in Southern gray instead. As the tears rolled down their faces, they searched vainly for his name, but they never learned to journey to their village up in Maine. Without the funds to send him back, he was buried like their own, and there above his resting place they carved "Stranger" on the stone. And the stranger in gray is lying there today, a misdirected casualty of war, surrounded by the ones who fired the Union guns. The stranger in gray will see Dixie nevermore. Fate must have a sense of humor as it winds along its way, for it led that gray-clad stranger to a little town named Gray. But even when the real son, he was found and buried there, the town made sure the stranger was included in their prayers. And when the ladies place the flowers and the flags are left to wave, beside the stranger's flowers a rebel flag flies on that grave. So he lies with the others, who in life he sought to kill. All the rifle fire has ended, the cannonballs are still, and flowers of blue grow softly by that stranger's marble stone, to show to all that blue and gray don't have to be alone. Yes, the stranger in gray still lying there today, a misdirected casualty of war, surrounded by the ones who fired the Union guns. The stranger in gray is no stranger anymore. Yes, the stranger in gray will see Dixie nevermore. Thanks so much. All right, well, moving on to a Tom Rowe song here. A few of you remember my dad, right? Good. I'm sure he's somewhere hearing that applause and just thinking to himself, yeah. He wrote this song about my French-Canadian heritage because he had none of his own. He was always impressed by the French-Canadian people in the area where I grew up, Lewiston, Auburn, Maine. And of course, all over the Northeast, the same stories played out in town after town. People came down from Quebec for jobs during the Industrial Revolution, and what they found here was a life. They intended to come down, make some money, go back to Quebec, and spend the money buying homes and farming. And they stayed, a lot of them. And that's how I came to be. My name is Levesque. I'm a son of Quebec. I'm a farmer and a Frenchman by birth. I am used to hard work and the sun on my neck, and I raised what I could from the earth. But now I'm a weaver in some rich man's mill, making blankets to earn a week's pay. And it's 6 days a week, dawn to dark in this hell, but I'm going back home come someday. I'm Giselle Corriveau, and I'm joining my beau in the spring when the log drive is through. He's a woodsman, you know, and I do love him so, and for him there's not much I won't do. So I sweat all day long in this shoe factory, just to put a few dollars away, to save toward a farm in our own country, 'cause we're going back home come someday. Here's the chorus. It is work, it is family, it's church, it is God. It is why we came here to this land, to make a new life and be what we are, the proud and the strong Quebecois. The proud and the strong Quebecois.
I'm Gerard Fournier, and I cut wood all day in the spring. I'll be taking a wife. We'll go back to the land, it's our forefathers' way. To nurture the earth is our life. And on Saturday nights we will dance and we'll sing. Raise a glass to our family and friends. And it's Sunday to church and the solace it brings. And on Monday we'll start once again. Here we go! It is work, it is family, it's church, it is God. It is why we came here to this land. To make a new life and be what we are. The proud and the strong Quebecois. The proud and the strong Quebecois. Oh, we are the folk who quietly toil in this new land of hope we have found. In the woods, on the sea, in the hard rocky soil, in the factories that clutter the town. And we raised up cathedrals to the glory of God. They were built of our blood and our tears. And we made it through hard times and hunger and floods, and we'll be here for thousands of years. It is work, it is family, it's church, it is God. It is why we came here to this land. To make a new life and be what we are. The proud and the strong Quebecois. The proud and the strong Quebecois. C'est le travail, c'est la famille, c'est l'église, c'est Dieu. It is why we came here to this land. To make a new life and be what we are. The proud and the strong Quebecois. The proud and the strong Quebecois. The proud and the strong Quebecois. The proud and the strong Quebecois.
Thank you. So, when I was first starting out in this music business, I was way too important to play this song. You have to understand, I cut my teeth in the Irish pubs. My first gigs were with the Macon Brothers. I was their bass player. And so I learned a lot of Irish music very fast at a very impressionable age. Yeah, this isn't what I was drinking either. And it was always impressed upon me how much generally the rank and file Irish disdained this next song, mostly because the lyric was written by an Englishman. Frederick Weatherly wrote the words to this song. And so out of respect for those folks, I refused to ever play this song until somebody wrote its name on the back of a $50 bill. And I've been playing it ever since. And you can find it on my Big Shoes CD over there at the CD buffet.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling. From glen to glen and down the mountainside, the summer's gone and all the flowers are dying. 'Tis you must go, and I must bide. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. It's I'll be here in sunshine or in shadows. Oh, Danny boy, oh, Danny boy, I love you so. But when you come and all the flowers are dying, and I am dead as dead I will maybe, I bid you come to the place where I am lying. Kneel and say an Ave there for me, and I will hear those soft you tread above me, and all my grave will warmer, sweeter be, and you will bend and tell me that you love me, and I will lie in peace until you come to me. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, and the valley's hushed and white with snow. It's I'll be here in sunshine or in shadows.
Thank you. Well, we're fast getting toward that portion of the program where you get to stand and I get to sit, otherwise known as the intermission. I believe there are beverages over here, in case you haven't availed yourselves of the bar. That's what we call it up in Maine, it's a bar. It's okay if I talk normal, right? All right. And, of course, the CD buffet over there, womaned by Stacy. She's got a heck of a deal going on those things tonight, I think. We're trying not to carry too many CDs on the boat, and we have too many. That's the problem. And I was just about to also point out that somewhere in this room, at this moment, right? Am I wrong about this? At this very moment, someone in this room has a birthday, right? Yeah. Shelley over here, it's her birthday. She's the one that supplied all the fixins for me to eat in the back room and all the crew. So we're all going to sing happy birthday to Shelley Kaplan right now. You know the words, right? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Shelley. Happy birthday to you. It's her 34th birthday, by the way. 34th birthday. And she's got that lovely balloon, as well as the, is that a coffee mug? What's tied to it there? It's a plant. Seriously. Easy now. Anyhow, so before the show, as Shelley was laying out all the comestibles backstage, including the candied bacon. Oh. She makes this candied bacon that I would share with you, but I'm way too selfish for that. It's really good. So I'm going to be doing that during the intermission. While you're perusing the CDs, I'll be eating candied bacon. But while she was putting all that spread out back there, she said, "Does all this get me a request?" And I said, "Sure." So this next song is her request. It's a song that my friend from Modern Man, George Worsback, wrote. And it has a wonderful sentiment, excellent chorus to sing along with. And I'm sure you will. I used to walk through this world, cautious and oh so serious, till the life I was living was nearly a near-death experience. Well, I changed my story when I finally saw where I wasn't where it was at. But now I'm alive by the Destiny Drive, and I'm stretching out in the back. Here's your part. If I lose my job, I'll sleep till noon. If the news is bad, I'll watch cartoons. And if my house burns down, I'll have lots more room and a much better view of the moon. For those playing the home game, in case you missed those words, it goes, if I lose my job, I'll sleep till noon. If the news is bad, I'll watch cartoons. And if my house burns down, I'll have lots more room and a much better view of the moon. Try it out, come on. If I lose my job, I'll sleep till noon. If the news is bad, I'll watch cartoons. And if my house burns down, I'll have lots more room and a much better view of the moon. Yeah! In the vastness of space, the ever-expanding
universe. We are all puny specks of galactic dust down on Mother Earth. Well, I ain't no preacher, don't know if I'll reach ya, but here is some helpful advice. Use your uncommon sense, and you surely will live an uncommonly sensible life. Come on! If I lose my job, I'll sleep till noon. If the news is bad, I'll watch cartoons. And if my house burns down, I'll have lots more room and a much better view of the moon. Yeah! Now I ain't no preacher, don't know if I'll reach ya, but here is some humble advice. Use your uncommon sense, and you surely will live an uncommonly sensible life. Come on! If I lose my job, I'll sleep till noon. If the news is bad, I'll watch cartoons. And if my house burns down, I'll have lots more room and a much better view of the moon. Again, if I lose my job, I'll sleep till noon. If the news is bad, I'll watch cartoons. And if my house burns down, I'll have lots more room and a much better view of the moon. I'll have a much better view of the moon. I'll have a much better view of the moon. I will be back in a few minutes. I think Brent has something he wants to share with you.
He'll be back. So the bad news is the show's half over. The good news is we've got more to come. So, all right. A couple of quick announcements. As Dave mentioned, he has a CD buffet over there. We also have some books that were released this summer about the new the Chad Mitchell Trio. It's kind of a biography. We got both hardcover and paperback. And there's a CD that you can buy too. It's separate, but as I understand it, it's an unreleased song they recorded in like '67. Is that right? So if you're like a real Chad Mitchell Trio fan, it might be something you want in your collection. For everybody here in the room, in order to go back to your seat, you have to buy a CD. That's what? I can't do that? Are you sure, Chuck? Chuck says I can't do that, but I encourage you collect some music. There's some good music over there. Pick up some flyers from our upcoming event. Next one's in December. And we've got beer and wine available for sale. Jim over here is manning that. Thank you, Jim, for doing that. He's with the Lyceum with the facility here, and they were gracious enough to offer that for us. So go ahead and support them. And we got some water and snacks for a donation on this side of the room. So for those watching online, now's a good time to make a donation if you go to wfma.net/donate.htm. With that, we'll be back in 20 minutes or so. All right? See you soon.
everybody doing? First half go okay? Beer and wine was okay? Great. All right, well, thank you all for coming out and staying. The first thing we usually do after intermission is a little drawing for a prize. And you're not eligible, I'm sorry. No, I'm The prize tonight is a DVD of our 20th annual concert. And the lineup of people on this concert is amazing. Just to name a few, the Brothers Four, Tommy Makem, the Limelighters, Buskin and Bateau, Carolyn Hester, David Mallet, the Chad Mitchell Trio, Bill Danoff, the Highwaymen, Hamilton Camp, Modern Man, Paul Stuckey, Noel Paul Stuckey, Schooner Fair, Oscar Brand, Side by Side, and Christine Lavin. So there are a lot of neat people on this one. So we will draw one ticket. Brent's one ahead of me here. And the last 3 digits of the number are 246. All right. All right. All right, before we go any further, I'd like to thank a few people. First of all, the folks here at the Lyceum, over in the corner, Jim Holloway. He runs the place, and he brought the beer, so we're in good shape. And his helper tonight, Tony Santella. We have Shelley Kaplan and Mark, who have kept our performer fed this evening. Tom Bryson doing a great job on sound. There he is, okay. Also doing a great job on the live streaming, Abigail Wordman. And I want a special thanks to Brent Ruggles for getting things started, getting Dave and Stacy here, and everything else that he has done behind the scenes and in front of tonight. We have some other volunteers. My wife Yvonne checked you in at the desk this morning, before the show. Joanne and Nick Nana are here somewhere. Cheryl Zapp and Marion Kavanaugh are in the middle. And I think that's about all of the folks who helped us out tonight. I did want to mention a couple of, well, actually, information about a couple of our upcoming concerts. Our next concert had been scheduled for this building on November 7th, and it would have been David Mallet, but David has decided it's best to postpone his appearance here. So he's looking at coming back in the spring, the April timeframe. So we're still working on that, but we will get David back. And our one remaining concert for the year then would be on December 5th. It'll be the local group Shenandoah Run, who appear frequently in this area. And they always draw a big crowd. And they will be at the Arts Barn in Gaithersburg again on December the 5th. So that's all I have. I'd like to let's get some music going again. So please bring back Dave Rowe.
Dave ain't here, man. So would you sing one with me? She went down last October in a pouring, driving rain. The skipper, he'd been drinking, and the mate, he felt no pain. Too close to 3 Mile Rock, and she was dealt a mortal blow. And the Mary Ellen Carter settled low. There was Justice 5 aboard her when she finally was awash. We worked like hell to save her, all heedless of the cost. And the groans she gave as she went down, it caused us to proclaim that the Mary Ellen Carter'd rise again. Well, the owners wrote her off, not a nickel would they spend. She gave 20 years of service, boys, and met a sorry end. The insurance paid the loss to us, so let her rest below. Then they laughed at us and said we'd have to go. But we talked to her all winter, some days around the clock. For she's worth $250,000 just floating at the dock. And with every jar that hit the bar, we swore we would remain and make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Come on, rise again, rise again. That her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. All those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. All spring now we've been with her, on a barge lent by a friend. 3 dives a day in a hard hat suit, and twice have had the bends. Thank God it's only 60 feet, and the currents here are slow, or I'd never have the strength to go below. But we patched her and stopped up her vent stock, hatching portals down, tied cables to her fore and aft, then girded her around. Tomorrow noon we'll hit the gear and then take up the strain and watch the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Rise again, rise again. That her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. Those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. For we couldn't leave her there, you see, to crumble in the scale. She'd saved our lives so many times, living through the gales, and the laughing drunken rats who left her to a sorry grave, they won't be laughing in another day. And you to whom adversity has dealt the final blow, with smiling bastards lying to you everywhere you go, turn to and put out all your strength of arm and heart and brain, and like the Mary Ellen Carter, rise again, rise again, rise again. That her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. Those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again, rise again, rise again. Though your heart it be broken and life about to end, no matter what you've lost, be it a home, a love, a friend, like the Mary Ellen Carter, rise again.
Thank you very much. Well, I had a request on the break. And in spite of it, I'm going to keep playing. last time I buy my guitar strings at Harris Teeter. All right. The request was for a Pete St. John song. By a lonely prison wall, I heard a young girl calling, Michael, they have taken you away, for you stole Trevelyan's corn, so the young might see the morn. Now a prison ship lies waiting in the bay. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round these fields of Athenry. That's your part, you know. By a lonely prison wall, I heard a young man calling, nothing matters, Mary, when you're free. Against the famine and the crowd, I rebelled, they ran me down. Now you must raise our child with dignity. Come on! Oh, lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. On the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round these fields of Athenry. By a lonely harbor wall, she watched the last star falling as the prison ship sailed out against the sky. Sure, she'll wait and she'll hope and she'll pray for her love in Botany Bay. It's so lonely round these fields of Athenry. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round these fields of Athenry. Oh, lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round these fields of Athenry. It's so lonely round these fields of Athenry.
Thank you. All right. So, as we all sit here with our masks on, contemplating the last couple of years and all the tremendous loss that we've had since the very beginning of this whole thing, there are a handful that really stand out to me, you know? Just losses that were a real kick in the teeth, one way or the other. One of those to me was John Prine. He put on his best suit with the tie tied just so. The jacket, the guitar, they swung out and low. He took to the stage with that gleam in his eye. Told us stories in the song, told us how Sam Stone died. He's a national treasure, not of diamonds but words that he married with tunes only he and God heard. Might have had a gold record if he kept souvenirs, but no one lives forever as this virus makes tears. Now John Prine is gone, he wrote a road to the heart. His America mourns, we just lost our Descartes. A self-made philosopher, a seer with guitar. As the ink dries and the strings, still we all see his star. All the drunks on the bar stools are mouthing his name. The men in the coal mines all doing the same. Inside fancy buildings from LA to Hong Kong, the tributes are coming for the man who made songs. Now John Prine is gone, he wrote a road to the heart. His America mourns, we just lost our Descartes. A self-made philosopher, a seer with guitar. As the ink dries and the strings, still we all see his star. Every song has a bridge when it stands hands to reflect. Somehow all of his bridges made us listeners connect. Now I'm a fool with a guitar. I write songs of my own. Every word, every nuance are from angels on loan. John found them from paradise to West Bethlehem. He wrote them down so we all might sing them again. Now John Prine is gone, he rode a road to the heart. His America mourns, we just lost our Descartes. A self-made philosopher, a seer with guitar. As the ink dries and the strings, still we all see his star. Thank you. I'm going to take a big chance here. I'm going to do a song I haven't performed in a long time. I may not know it all, but I won't know till I get there. But I figure with Veterans Day coming up next month, there's no better time to start thinking about these kinds of topics, especially now that we've pulled out of Afghanistan. There's going to be a lot of folks who are over there who need our help, our thoughts, our love. I've never been in a war zone. I hope I never do. But I know people that have lived through it. They're never quite the same, you know? He was born out in Frisco as the full moon stood guard. He grew up playing soldier with his friends in the yard. He was loved by a mother, pride and joy to a dad. Then he joined a man's army, a bright future he had. He was sent off after basic to the war far away, risking life for his country to get his college bills paid. He had dreams to be a doctor, to save children from the plague, maybe find a cure for cancer. There are countless he'd save. Light a candle for the fallen, one for each lost to war. But don't forget, for each one we lost, many others came home. They have seen war at the first hand, sights could drive a man mad. Bless them, hold them, help them live again. It's a debt that we have. He came home last December, open arms all around. Tried to live as a civilian, but his thoughts beat him down. He had dreams almost every night of the terrors he had seen, of the families and comrades fallen starving unclean. Light a candle for the fallen, one for each lost to war. But don't forget, for each one we lost, many others stayed home. They had seen war at the first hand, sights could drive a man mad. Bless them, hold them, help them live again, it's a debt that we have. In a churchyard there are mourners, weeping for a lost son. He died in the line of duty, though his duty was done. This protector couldn't live after seeing such pain. Wrote a note to his parents, then he blew out his brain. He was born out in Frisco as the full moon stood guard. He grew up playing soldier with his friends in the yard. Thank you. And now, it's request time. What did I do next? Oh, that. No, it is request time. I don't want to do that. What do you want to hear? Folk song? That was next. Give me another one. All right. Yeah, because what I just did, I didn't plan to do either. And so now I'm looking at that going, I don't want to do that now. This one works. He was well into his 60s when I first heard Grandpa's dream. Farmhouse by the sea and some roots in the land. Well, he never got the farm, what he got was a machine in a factory at the edge of town in broken, calloused hands that stole away his years and the music from his ears, and it left him so he couldn't even hear the factory horn. Still he said someday he knew he'd get his way and end up his days on a saltwater farm. Saltwater farm, my saltwater farm. Come on. A little bit of heaven, just a house and a barn. Mornings we'd go fishing, work the fields in the afternoon. And as the evening tide rolls in, there'd be songs beneath the moon. Later I would take you in my arms and listen to the sounds of our saltwater farm. He said he'd have a cow, some chickens and a hog, a barn filled up with hay and a boat down in the cove. Later in the fall he'd go hunting with a dog. Winter nights he'd sit around and read beside the stove. Well, he was always kind of poor, and he could have dreamed for more than a place where he would still have to work with his hands. That never was his way, and I can still hear him say, son of man is at his best between the sea and the land. Saltwater farm, my saltwater farm. Yeah. Mornings we'd go fishing, work the fields in the afternoon. As the evening tide rolls in, there'd be songs beneath the moon. Later I would take you in my arms and listen to the sounds of our saltwater farm. Come on, saltwater farm, my saltwater farm. A little bit of heaven, just a house and a barn. Mornings we'd go fishing, work the fields in the afternoon. And as the evening tide rolls in, there'd be songs beneath the moon. Later I would take you in my arms and listen to the sounds of our saltwater farm. Saltwater farm, my 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 saltwater farm. I want to thank you all for spending this evening with me. Have you had a good time tonight? That's what I was hoping I'd hear. For those who don't know, you can find me anytime, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, online at daverowemusic.com. It'll even seem like I'm awake for that third of the day when I'm not. It's a wonderful thing. I'm also easy to find on Facebook if you're a Facebooker. Feel free to say hey, be my friend at facebook.com/DaveRoweFolk and or facebook.com/DaveRoweMusic. Dave Rowe Folk is my business page for this, and Dave Rowe Music is where I can be your friend. Although I'm almost up to that 5,000 friends limit, so they're probably going to shut me down soon. But yeah, get me there just so I can see what happens. What the heck? Like this close. And also, you can follow our adventures on Stinkpot. Stinkpot is my boat, in case you've missed that when Brent was talking about it earlier. Stacy and I live on Stinkpot. It's our home. And Facebook has generously given us a page to keep a blog about our travels and all the interesting things and the intricacies of our lives that we care to share. Go there. So if you just search on Facebook for Stinkpot, it will probably be the first thing that comes up. And beyond that, I don't have anything more that's that exciting, really, other than the fact that I still have CDs for sale. We did not run out. Tried very hard, but anyhow. So I'm going to leave you with this next song. It's a song that I wrote about the state of folk music today. Yeah, thank you. And it's not even that folk music is in a terrible state. I don't mean to imply that. But the definition of what constitutes folk music has become so broad at this point that I felt it needed some form of a delineation, some form of definition beyond just a guy with a guitar sing, or a person, I should say, a person with a guitar singing music. I decided, after much cogitation on the issue, that a folk song requires a certain aging of the music, if you know what I'm saying. If you walk down the street and you're whistling a tune and somebody starts singing along with you, that's a folk song, right? Because it's happening organically between folks. It means that a song has arrived at a certain level of general consciousness among us all, that if you whistle it on the street or start humming it on the street, somebody else is going to hear it and go, I know that song. There's a folk song. That's what it takes. So this next song ain't a folk song. Because you could start whistling this song anywhere in the world and somebody go, what's that? All right, it's just not there yet. It's going to take some time. This all came about because a radio DJ got in touch with me. He said, Dave, on my show on Sunday afternoon, I'm going to be playing a few of your songs, and I'd like very much for you to listen in and enjoy the show. And that's the sort of thing that my ego just loves, you know? So I tuned in, and I listened to the entire show, and it was almost none of it was folk music, even though the show was a folk show. It all was just singer-songwriter after singer-songwriter after singer-songwriter whining about their love lives in song with an acoustic guitar in their hands. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I have no problem with that. I've resembled that on many occasions. However, given the definition of folk music I just gave you earlier, it ain't folk music. So I found myself yelling at the radio at one point. I actually heard myself utter the phrase loudly, "Your love life will never be a folk song." And then I thought, hey, that sounds like a song. And here it is. This song is called Folk Song. It isn't a folk song. It may be tragic the way she's done you wrong. The very fabric of this world has come apart since she's been gone. You thought your pen and guitar could fix the problems of your heart, but your love life will never be a folk song. Yes, your love life will never be a folk song. You got that? Especially those last two phrases. That'd be great, thanks. It was special, you know, the world just has to agree. The way she looked at you and you were so cool with your guitar on your knee. From the very start she brought new songs into your beating heart. Now she broke it and we all know how she tore it all apart. It may be tragic the way she's done you wrong. The very fabric of this world has come apart since she's been gone. You thought your pen and guitar could fix the problems of your heart, but your love life will never be a folk song. Yes, your love life will never be a folk song. Folk songs have been around and sung for many years, sung by young and old in many kitchens, clubs, and theaters. Start singing one and folks around you join in harmony. So that breakup song you wrote for her ain't folk, you must agree. It may be tragic the way she's done you wrong. The very fabric of this world has come apart since she's been gone. You thought your pen and guitar could fix the problems of your heart, but never be a folk song. Yes, you'll never be a folk song. Maybe tragic the way she's done you wrong. The very fabric of this world has come apart since she's been gone. You thought your pen and guitar could fix the problems of your heart, but your love, yes, your love folk song. Maybe tragic the way she's done you wrong. The very fabric of this world has come apart since she's been gone. You thought your pen and guitar could fix the problems of your heart, but your love life will never be a folk song. Yes, your love life will never be a folk song. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. But your love life will never be a folk song. Yes, your love life will never be a folk song. Oh, your love life will never be a folk song. Oh, your love life will never be a folk song. everyone. Thanks very much. Good night. Isn't that fun? It's just a reason to stretch, really, yeah. And now I'm going to do my entire set about Compost Man. I'll follow it up with everything the Beatles ever wrote. No, I'm going to finish the night here with an old Canadian folk song. We all know this one. It's nice of them to put this in shot glasses, isn't it? Took a lot out of me. Help me out. I get up in the morning, the alarm clock's warning, take the 8:15 into the city. There's a whistle up above, people pushing, people shove, girls that trying to look pretty. Now if your train's on time, you can get to work by 9, start saving at the job to get your pay. If you ever get annoyed, look at me, I'm self-employed. Love to work at nothing all day. Hey, hey, I've been taking care of business every day. Taking care of business, smart every way. I've been taking care of business. It's all mine. Taking care of business and working overtime. It's easy as fishing, you can be a musician if you can make sounds loud or mellow. Buy a second-hand guitar, chances are you'll go far if you get in with a right bunch of fellows. People see me having fun, sitting lying in the sun, telling that I like it this way. It's the work that I enjoy, 'cause you know I'm self-employed. Love to work at nothing all day. Hey, I've been taking care of business every day. Taking care of business every way. I've been taking care of business. It's all mine. Taking care of business and working overtime. I get up in the morning, the alarm clock's warning, take the 8:15 into the city. There's a whistle up above, people pushing, people shove, girls are trying to look pretty. Now if your train's on time, you can get to work by 9, start slaving at the job to get your pay. If you ever get annoyed, look at me, I'm self-employed. Love to work at nothing all day. Hey, I've been taking care of business every day. Taking care of business every way. I've been taking care of business. It's all mine. Taking care of business and working overtime. I've been taking care of business every day. Taking care of business every way. Taking care of business. It's all mine. Taking care of business. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Another hand for Dave Rowe. Is that a great night of music or what? We're all so glad you came. It's so great. I love being among our musical friends or friends of music, however you see yourself. And without your support, we couldn't do live shows like this. So thank you very much for coming out. Reminder, December 5th, we're going to have Shenandoah Run. Tickets go on sale this week. So look on our website for that. And with that, I bid you a fair adieu. We're going to have to end the show before Chuck has another glass of wine and sings Yellow Rose of Texas. And you do not want to see that. All right, so good night, everyone.